Joining us now from the Northwest, a man you may have heard of, a man who is now trying to get something really special from Tyler Haws to commemorate the night, Jarom Jordan. Jarom, what's up, man?
What is up, my brothers?
Hey, have you gotten anything from Tyler? We didn't ask him, but did you get anything from him?
No, I've been watching the show. I heard you throw me under the bus. No, right after I talked to Tyler in the hallway, which, by the way, was quite the event because there were literally like 200 Cougar fans that stayed after the game. More on that in a moment. It was so loud. We're trying to interview Tyler, Dave Rose, Skyler Halbert. Cougar fans in the hallway. He'd raise his hand. Total power, like Mr. Bean on that Christmas special. Total power. Nice. So I asked him after, I said, dude, don't forget, because I talked a week ago with Tyler about this. We need shoes or socks or underwear, whatever, man. We need something from this game. So I talked to Marty Haws, and I said, you need to get everything on him in a bag and control where this goes and of course, what we get is like, oh, yeah, we'll hook you up.
It needs to go to Legacy Hall.
From the game from Tyler.
Okay. Good work, my friend. I'm glad you got there. We'll talk
That's
about
the reason I got here was to get, like, socks or something.
Yes. Your adventure up there was entertaining, and I'll ask you about that in a second.
You should have stole something, man. I mean, if you went that far, you flew, put so much time, energy, and effort, man.
How do you know I didn't?
Okay. We'll talk about that offline. Okay.
Hashtag Klepto Jarom. All right. Jarom, what was the reaction like in the venue the moment Tyler scored the record-breaking points?
Very cool. And I tweeted a video, put it on YouTube from my perspective, kind of on the concourse opposite the kitty corner opposite the BYU bench. A standing ovation from the crowd, 65% BYU in my opinion, for the entire defensive possession. A banner was unfurled, as High on a Mountaintop said, prophesying Tyler's passing Jimmer, him 5. Congratulating Jimmer that The Rock and BYU Athletic Marketing had prepared, which was nicely done. P. Norton and Garrett Rose involved in that. And that crowd knew what was going on. I saw a ton of signs. There was a ton of reception for BYU basketball. BYU Sports Nation got huge love. It was amazing. Those fans were really good. And I tweeted this out last night. If Tyler couldn't break the record in Provo, Portland was the next best place because Cougar fans in the Northwest are fantastic.
Nice. Jarom, how much of a factor do you think those fans played last night? I mean, I talked about it with Tyler and how fans can help just with the momentum swing of the game. But like you said, it looked like there were a lot more fans, BYU fans, than Portland fans.
There were moments where I think the crowd gave BYU a huge lift. And let's be honest, there's, 3:57 or something left in the game? It's a 2-point game.
Yeah.
BYU had led by 9. It looked like BYU was going to go on a run and win the game. Then BYU goes on a 13-0 run. BYU made plays. If it's played in an empty gym, I think BYU still wins that game. But because BYU has that crowd, they go plus 21 in the second half. I mean, that could have been plus 10, and it might have been a close game. Who knows? But that crowd certainly had an influence on the game.
What was the best thing you saw last night? And I'm guessing it might be the Jake Toolson shimmy after a layup by Tyler Haws.
That was pretty good. Best thing, I was told about this after by Dalton Nixon and Jake Toolson. There was a BYU fan that came over to the railing up high and yelled down at Jake Toolson, "Hey, Toolson, where'd you dance?" And then he did his own Toolson jig, and then pointed over his like curled his hands over and pointed at Jake like your turn. And then Jake just laughed. He's like, I can't do it right now.
I'm in the game. Yeah, well, we want to see more of Jake Toolson dance because generally when he does, good things are happening for BYU basketball. You mentioned the power of BYU Sports Nation alive and well in the Northwest. Apparently it was enough to overcome some West Coast Conference officiating, was it not?
Yes. I don't know if you're referring to the tweet by at WCC officials who said something to the degree of, hopefully we don't meet each other in a dark back alley in Spokane, to which I responded, bring it. That is an unofficial account, I should add. But anyways, I'm waiting in Spokane for a vicious street fight.
There was a moment yesterday where you were stuck in the Salt Lake City airport, and I had serious anxiety about this because I knew how much you wanted to be there. Your flight was delayed, and you had to go through some extreme measures to get to Portland on time. Tell us the story of your emotions as you went throughout the day.
Yeah, it was wild. Had a delay on my initial flight, and then my connecting flight was delayed beyond, game time. And so, just forked out a little more to make it happen. And one Spencer Linton gave me the motivation that I needed to make the move. Totally worth it. The game was fantastic. All the BYU fans there were amazing. Seeing that record broken was unbelievable. So yeah, absolutely worth it. My wallet hates Spencer Linton, but my heart loves Spencer Linton.
It was worth it.
That's what Bob's are for.
It was worth it. You were right. I was super bummed, and then made the switch.
Jarom, so Spencer gave you a nice motivational speak. You got back on focus mode and able to make it. We heard the same thing with the BYU coaches during halftime. Were you able to hear anything, or just get a sense of that? Hey, maybe these kids got yelled at for their poor play in the first half.
Yeah, and talking to Tyler and Skyler and even Dave Rose after the game, you got the sense that, of course they weren't happy at the half. Down 8, we're getting out-rebounded. It wasn't looking good at the time, but BYU made some crucial adjustments, especially defensively. So all of a sudden, BYU has a ton of fouls called. I think that this is because, one, the refs are terrible, and two, that BYU was way more aggressive. So naturally, there were more fouls called. I asked everybody, how did you overcome the foul deficit? And it was that, and my idea in the question was, how did you continue to score points despite that on offense? But all of their answers were related to, no, we just had to stay the course on defense. And Corbin Kaufusi fouls out. Ryan Andrews has 3 fouls in 5 minutes. But BYU stayed the course on defense. They continued to be aggressive. And what happened was, they got some steals, got out in transition, got some easy buckets, and then the offense started clicking. So the BYU didn't pull back the reins. They just kept going and staying aggressive. And that's been the change the last 5 games, is that BYU has stayed aggressive on D, and they have made a conscious effort to rebound. And last night, Kyle Collinsworth had some man rebounds where he was going to go up and not let anyone else get that rebound. That'll be a key at Gonzaga for sure, and in Vegas.
BYU was out-rebounded by Portland last night, still won the game, and that's been the big, litmus test for the Cougars this season is if they can out-rebound a team, they win. They're undefeated. Well, they found a way to win anyway last night. They were out-officiated in terms of foul calls, and they were down by 8, which by far was the largest halftime deficit they had overcome this year to get a win. That has to do good things for a team's confidence, right? What was the feel of the team and their confidence now that they approach Spokane?
Right after the game, I'm outside the locker room waiting for interviews. It was crazy in there. I could hear they were going nuts, and for a longer time than normal. I mean, they really appreciated what happened in that. One, celebrating Tyler's accomplishment, of course. But two, as a team, it's been difficult at times this year. It's been hard. But to get that win on the road, down 8 at halftime, I mean, that was a good win for BYU. They're feeling good. Skyler Halford said, we're ready in reference to playing at Gonzaga, and we'll find out tomorrow. But you'd like to think that BYU's playing just about as good as they could play right now.
Are you on the tourney train? It's gaining steam, bro. Are you joining the party with me yet?
I don't know yet because the NCAA tournament selection committee uses the RPI so heavily, and BYU needs that RPI to take a shot, and it's going to get a shot in the arm playing Gonzaga, beating Portland. BYU's got to get to Tuesday night, and then we'll see. I don't know. I'm not on the tourney train quite yet. I don't even know if I will be on Selection Sunday. Of course, I hope it, but I just Eamon Brennan's thing on ESPN was interesting this morning. I know everyone tweeted that out. The Cougars are a curious case because, like we discussed earlier in the week, the numbers skew both ways for BYU. The RPI being the biggest one against BYU. And the fact that they got swept by Pepperdine, San Diego, or lost San Diego, all that. I don't know. They're going to have to show well against Gonzaga at a minimum. They can't get beat by more than 15 to me.
You got to think happy thoughts, bro. Think happy. It's like Peter Pan, you try to fly.
Getting beat by less than 15 is a happy thought.
Just get some pixie dust and think happy thoughts. We will make it. We will make it.
Last question for you, Jarom. I'm doing something that I've never done tonight in your stead. I am calling a BYU men's volleyball match, and I want to know, what is the one most important bit of advice you have for me as I approach the spectacle that is calling a BYU men's volleyball game in Provo?
Well, first off, you're going to do great. You called the matches for the team that went to the national championship match. You know what's up. If there's anybody that can do this job, it's you. I'm basically giving you a motivational speech right now.
Thank you.
Two things. Let Steve do his thing, because he's amazing. It's super funny. And then the other thing is you must drop the phrase, boom goes the dynamite. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, done. Both of those things are written down and will be accomplished tonight. Let Steve do his thing, boom goes the dynamite.
You'll be great, man. I can't wait.
Hey, Jarom, great to talk to you, man. Enjoy Spokane as well. Go Cougs. Beat the Zags.
I'm bringing stuff back from Portland and Spokane for the set. Don't worry.
Nice. We await it.